wherever you are in the world. This time with Universal Aquatics. Thank you for joining me today on a live tour of Shaquille O'Neal's pond just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Now, I have never done a YouTube live video. I've done maybe a couple of Facebook live videos, but that's it. So I am either going to knock this out of the park or it's going to be a total train wreck. So just hang on and we'll see what that looks like. Now, I wanted to just kind of on the spur of the moment, on the way over here, I decided, hey, I think I'm going to show you guys SHAQ'S Pond 1 year later, as far as the new swim pond, 1 year later, how crystal clear it is. I figured people might have some questions about the feature itself and what it looks like now. What do we have to do for maintenance? Have we added any fish to the pond? That kind of thing. But I'm literally looking at the screen, figuring this out. Okay, I'm gonna flip this thing around and show you guys ultimately what the pond looks like, but you can see behind me, it is extremely, extremely clear. All right, let me flip it around here. Okay, so this is the new recreational swim pond that we constructed along with a lot of Aquascape certified pond contractors a little over a year ago now. And let me start up at the very top and show you what it looks like up there. And by the way, I would like for you guys to ask any questions that you want. This is for you, so now's your opportunity to ask us whatever you want to ask us, and hopefully I can figure out this YouTube live thing and answer the questions here on the spot. But I should say, we haven't done anything to this pond to prep it for this video. Literally driving over here, I said, okay, let's do it. So this is the headwaters. So we've got a series of pumps pumping into there. The pumps are pulling from the modified skimmer down there, the intake bay, and it is pushing up into here, jumping into this pond. Now we've got a lot of natural stuff going on. Like I said, I haven't prepped it, so there's a big weed. I shouldn't point that out, but we're trying to make this thing look as natural as possible. But you can see how the plants now blur the line between terrestrial and aquatic. So the main goal whenever we build these water features is we want to make it to where you don't know where the water begins and where the land ends, that kind of thing. Or maybe the other way around, but you get what I'm saying. We want to blur the lines between the land where the grass is and the water itself. So I should tell you this too. This is not full force. This is not full flow. We've actually got 2 of the pumps off. Now the reason we did that is because in the springtime, whenever this pond is, I guess, existing here, we've got springs that come in and dump water and constantly feed to top this thing off. Now we turned off a couple of pumps just to reduce evaporation because we don't want to have to fill this thing up all the time. And honestly, it looks amazing still, but we can crank it up into party mode if we need to, if he's ever having an event or anything over here. But this is what it looks like from this perspective. So anytime you can get water to come off and twist and turn and naturally have a sharp break, it's phenomenal. And whenever you can bring some natural elements like this big piece of wood in here, that's also fantastic. So we've got some parrot's feather coming in on this side. We've got the water coming off. And like I said, normally we've got 2 more pumps cranking on this thing. So this flow is reduced tremendously. But as you can see, the water is gin clear, crystal clear. When I mean clear, I mean clear, clear, clear. Now we have not put any fish in here yet. I'm sure some of you guys are gonna be asking that question. The reason being is because right after we built this, as you guys probably saw in the reveal video, none of this grass was really established yet. So it was a big muddy mess, and the review video was Shaq's schedule. The reveal was unfortunate, but we had muddy clay water. Since then, some of the neighboring property up there is just kind of dumping water in several months ago, and I didn't want to put any fish in here at that time until we get that figured out, and we honestly were waiting on the city to figure out something here, so we haven't put fish in here yet. This is the main waterfall drop. Like I said, a couple pumps are off, but you can see the big cedar stump on the side where it is just, it's cutting everything off. So if these plants were not there, you could probably see it is still weeping on the other side. So we let these plants grow in because I just like to use them as natural filtration. But whenever these plants weren't there, you can see that the water is still coming in on the other side and it's still weeping down over there. But this is how we like to keep our water features just as natural as possible. But you can see this angle right here. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like it. All right, back to this. So, check out the water quality. It is insane. You can see all the dragonflies. I'm standing here looking at the water lilies right now, which are fantastic. Greg Wittstock and I, the pond guy, several months ago, well, I guess it's been about 2 or 3 months ago now, fertilized these guys. So the blooms are doing fantastic. You can see all the dragonfly action around here. It is insane. Now you can see the orange little golf ball down there with all the putt-putt stuff. But this is the wetland filtration system, so this is the heart and soul of the system. This is what is providing the filtration to keep this pond crystal clear all the time. You can see the plants on the side growing in ever so delicately here. So these on this side, we designed it to where the plants aren't growing in as much. We want some pockets where the plants grow in a lot more in some areas than on other areas. But these guys actually stay here year round. These lily pads, I should say that they are a species called ISG water lilies. They are a combination of hybrid and tropical water lilies, but they are doing phenomenally well. Well, we have not seen water lilies in the Metro Atlanta, Georgia area do this well ever on anybody's pond anywhere. So these things were blooming all year long. Now, these plants over here on the wetland filtration system, we got to cut those back here. You can already see they're starting to turn a little bit brown. So in the fall and winter time, we have to cut those guys down flat, and that just creates another season for the pond in terms of plantings. Now the steppers right there, you can see the front yard over there, and we'll walk over there and look at the other pond here in a second. So the front yard there, whenever you see some guys are working on the front door right there, but whenever they are standing there, Shaq and his family come out here, they have a direct line of sight to the waterfall over there. And I'm gonna be quiet for a second because I want you to be able to hear the water. And like I said, 2 pumps are down, but it still sounds really good. And at nighttime, whenever there are less cars driving by, you can hear that really well from on the other side. Now, from this putt-putt area here, you've got this area where you can step down, and you've got your steppers to where you can literally walk across the pond right here. Now we have a series of jets that we put in after the initial build, just to be able to push water toward the intake bay, toward the skimmer over there. We've got some beach entry points there. Now I do want to put something into perspective here. Earlier, whenever I was talking about runoff coming in, so if you guys go back to the original video that we did for the first reveal here, I should say, there were a few critters here. We've got the alligator, we've got the crocodile, and we've got the green tree frog. Now the alligator didn't move. The green tree frog moved slightly and now is facing the Superman bench over there. But this crocodile was literally over there. And the water came up. We had a series of flash floods here. Water came up, and the crocodile relocated over there, which I think is fantastic. We did not put that there. Nature put that there, okay? And with the plants that are growing in, it just looks perfect, like it's about to just dive in and go after some critter in the water. So I think that's pretty neat. Sometimes whenever things happen like that, it's little happy mistakes. So I will take you up here in a second, but I wanted to pull you around over here as well. So you can see there is not a bad angle on this thing. You can enjoy the view anywhere you want to around this whole thing. Now this is where all the pumps live in here. Now I don't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure we got 6 pumps in here. So the water pulls in from there. You can see the leaves and debris. It's a little swirling action there. So the leaves are going to get pulled in, and the pumps live underneath that, and that pumps it all the way over there. So you get maximum flow around this whole thing. And with that, the water looks like this. Looks like this. All right, so let me see. Like I said, this is the very first time I've ever done anything live on YouTube. I'm looking for comments. I would love for you guys to interact with me. If you have any questions, now's the time. Any questions on maintenance, on water flow, on on the goals of the feature long term, please give me a shout. Honestly, this is no different than something you can have in your own space in your own backyard, except for the most part, I guess, it's just a little bit bigger. But it's the same guts, the same heart and soul of the system, the same components, except this one is just sack sized. Oh, let me show you this. You see the water? I'm sorry, let's see. The tadpoles right there. Let me try to get closer. Right there, we've got two massive bullfrogs right there. They've already got their legs right there. There's another 1, 2 on that back little filter pad. Now we put these in here just to kind of break up the filtration a little bit so we can take these out if the water's a little bit cloudy and simply rinse them. But I'm trying to see on here if questions will just pop up, but excuse me here because literally I'm just figuring this out. So let me take you up here to the first pond that we had the privilege of building. It was probably about 25 of us. A lot of certified aquascape pond contractors came out here along with their kids. It was right smack dab in the middle of COVID, about 4.5 years ago or so. This is actually the first project that we did after we learned about COVID. So it was a little different getting together with all of my pond buddies, my pond friends, building this thing. But I should have said that, yes, on the way over here, I did decide to do this live video. But I did come over here and do a little bit of maintenance on this first pond that we built during COVID. So it's a little bit cloudy, and I'm filling it up right now. So be forewarned, it's a little cloudy. But here's what this one looks like now. So here is the intake bay right there. The pumps live down there. Now this needs to get filled up with water. You can see I'm filling it up now, but it's been pretty hot here in Atlanta. So we're filling this thing up now, but you can see all the fish. And like I said, it is cloudy. O'Neal right there, AKA Charles Barkley fish. Now Greg Woodstock, the pond guy, named this thing Shaquille O'Neal. The big yellow one right there. But as soon as Shaq saw it, he said, hey, I'm naming this thing Charles Barkley. So, you know, it's got some different names on it. But like I said, it's a little cloudy, but the fish are doing extremely well. Now, I do want to say, too, that Charles Barkley fish there, it is not as aggressive as an eater as the other ones. So we've got some auto fish feeders on this guy. So it's constantly pumping food in here. We've got it set several times a day. And we've got it set at different place points. So the fish, it's like broadcast feeding. So the water goes over there. I'm sorry, the fish food goes over there. Fish food goes over there to give all the fish a greater chance to eat. But sometimes we just see that they get a little bit thinner over time based on their personality, basically. But it's still doing extremely well. It's just a little, it lost a little weight since it's been here, which is fine. But honestly, we've decided to, like I said, to hold off on putting fish in the other pond over there. We were going to put them in initially right after the build, but we wanted to let it mature a little bit, let it settle in, and we wanted that water to become more established before we ended up putting these fish in there just for long-term success. But the waterfall right now is truly a jungle. John Adams from Modern Design Aquascaping, out and around the Knoxville, Tennessee area, put these pitcher plants in here. That's his thing. You got to put carnies in here, so the carnivorous plants, so he loves those. So that was a gift from him. And then all of this section, Bernie, out in California, Bernie's Bridge right there. But as you can see, we let this thing literally turn into a jungle during the summer months just to combat algae. So it really helps to take out the nutrients in the water that is produced by feeding the fish and just fish waste in general. But I like it too because you can't see the whole thing in any one shot. So there's a lot of plants. I know I should thin these out a little bit, but I just like it. So you can see some of the drops here. And by the way, we do have a couple of the, well, I think it's just one of the pumps off right here as well. But let me bring you up here. So there's the wetland filtration system right there. The umbrella plant is doing extremely well. And you can see the spheres up here, the Superman sphere with the logo that is lit from within. Joey Genovese out of Canada worked on that guy. But you can see the water feature is aging nicely. All right, guys, if you have any questions that you have posted on here, I may not have seen it. Like I said, it's my first time doing anything live on YouTube, but I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any more questions or comments about SHAQ'S Ponds, let me know. I'm your guy. We come out here about every week or so and do regular routine maintenance on this to keep it looking good all the time. But honestly, there are so many different, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to mess this up. Every single pond is different, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's here at Shaq's house, if you are in, make up an area, if you're in England, if you were in Colombia, if you're in Africa, you know, wherever you are in the world, the Philippines, your water features are gonna perform a little bit differently just based on the seasons, based on how many fish you put in there, based on the filtration that you have. But overall, the same kind of rules apply. But if you have any questions, please let me know. Once again, John with Universal Aquatics. We design, to build, and maintain water features outside of the Metro Atlanta, Georgia area. And I'm your SHAQ'S Pond guy. So hit me up if you have any questions. And I appreciate you guys watching. Now let me see if I can end this. All right, take care, guys. Thanks.